Okay, so we finished season 2 now, and as I recall, I think you gave the first season like a 7 or something like that. You weren't as into it as I was, even though I think your reception of it was overall positive.
Yeah, I liked the first season well enough. I felt like there wasn't enough forward momentum, especially with the main character Ben. I really liked the things that they were setting up, but it felt like they were kind of dragging their feet when I know that this is a short-lived series. So I really wanted the story to pick up.
So what did you think of this one?
This is a pretty big improvement over season one.
Yeah, I like season 1 a lot. This is a far superior season. It's a massive
Yeah,
improvement in pretty
it's
much every way.
I wonder how much was actually planned to take place in this season and how much criticism from season 1 they used to actually kind of speed things along. Because the pace almost immediately from the first episode is much faster, and the storylines are, like, constantly, like, progressing. Way more interesting than season 1. They're doling out answers to questions at a much faster rate, and things seems like things were constantly moving like I wanted originally.
As I understand it, this season was originally meant to be 16 episodes, but it got shortened to 12. So they certainly had to compact things a lot more compared to what they originally had in mind. And also, I believe season 1 came out in 2003. This one came out in 2005. So they took a little longer to put this one together,
Mm.
but all the time ended up being worth it in the end. So when this season starts off, it picks up where the last one left off, where Sophie is being pulled out of the fire that Apollonia
Yeah.
started when she tried to kill herself and her daughter. Did you think that was the end of Sophie at the end of season 1, or did you think
No.
she was coming back?
No, I knew that she was gonna be coming back. It just seemed like there was much more to her character that, we hadn't gotten any answers to. So I never expected her to be gone. No, I was waiting for her to get pulled out and see where they took her character.
At the beginning of this one, Sophie survives the fire and she feels like she has nothing left at the carnival. So first, she starts giving herself to other jobs. Like she starts trying to be a physical laborer, working amongst the dudes who resent her for it, especially that one prick Burley who cannot stand working next to a skirt.
Yeah, she has some of my favorite stuff in this season. I really liked that aspect of her character, like trying to find all these other side gigs and trying to join and help wherever she can, but just not being accepted because of whatever outdated philosophies they had back then on women doing certain things.
And then she also just annihilated whatever was left of her relationship with Jonesy.
Yeah, and what's her name, Libby,
Yeah, Libby.
Which I thought was a little not out of character, but it seemed like needlessly harsh for her character, considering
The
this.
loss she just incurred
Yeah,
and the trauma.
yeah, and kind of, especially with Libby, like, the relationship in the first season seemed, like, so genuine and friendly. I don't understand quite why she blew that one up, but, I liked most of the stuff they did with her character kind of until the last section of the show.
You're still talking about Sophie?
Yeah.
When she makes her way to brother Justin
Y
and, becomes his maid.
yeah, I seeing how the season finishes off, I understand why they did it, but to me, her character is not this stupid. I thought it was kind of a betrayal to have her end up just being some holy man's maid. It's like, this doesn't seem like something Sophie would really do.
I liked it, I was okay with it, I felt like she had just incurred a super traumatic loss. Her mother tried to kill her and herself. She thinks her mother hates her, and she's seeing her ghost
Yeah,
everywhere and every now and then, and, she's just looking for something.
she's yeah, well, and of course, Justin is the guy that provides answers to everybody. That's his thing.
Yeah. I wonder how much of it is her own doing and how much of it is Justin using his
His
powers to
yeah.
manipulate through the radio.
Well, I mean, it
I think it's mostly her.
yeah, the other thing I didn't really care for is that her role is kind of reduced to being a damsel in the final few episodes. She's just kind of somebody to save.
Well, if we'd gotten season 3.
Yeah, and that's the other problem is that this is a series that was cut short, so we'll never get to see how the story was supposed to shake out. But yeah, I liked. most of the stuff she had to do in this season.
Speaking of Brother Justin, in this one, his ministry seems to be doing pretty well. He's got a
Yeah,
time
same. He's
slate.
got a freaking whole country side filled with tense followers.
He's got a time slot. He's got his radio show, The Ministry of the Air. People listen, people tune in, and he's found a new plot of land to be his new Canaan. And here he builds. I think he called it the New Temple of Jericho or something. Just
Yeah.
this mass compound of tents to take in all of the refugees, all of his flock, provides them with food, clothing, shelter, and they provide contributions. And while all of this is going on, the journalist Tommy Dolan, who's chronicling Justin's rise, is beginning his investigation into who started the fire in season one that burnt down Chins.
Yeah, the brothel turned church.
Yeah, and all arrows are pointing to Iris.
Yeah, once again, I think Justin has the most interesting story in the show. It's just like the corruption of something that's supposed to provide like solace and peace and happiness to people. The whole religious experience is just twisted into some evil thing, especially with like the incorporation of radio and money and like he's got his own security force and everything. He just goes like full blown hack. Um, what are they called? Evangelical mega church type
Oh yeah,
guy. It's kind of disgusting, but also, I mean, when you consider that the man is literally possessed by the devil, makes a little bit of sense.
and his former mentor Norman is now he's incurred a stroke and now
Yeah,
has to live in that man's house, being tormented by him on a regular
yeah.
basis.
Norm is he's very easy to root for because he's in such a precarious position. You're just waiting for him to like constantly like snap out of it and do something. Every time he gets a little bit more of his faculties back, it's kind of exciting because you're just waiting for him to try something. And it's quite a big moment when he like actually tries to kill Justin with
Yeah,
a gun.
he pulls a gun on him. Now, I will have to look into this to confirm this is true, but I read something on the internet some time ago that said after Norman shoots at brother Justin, there was gonna supposed to be a scene later on where Justin was gonna be like cleaning his uniform or something, and you were gonna see a bullet hole in the uniform,
Oh,
implying that he did indeed get shot, and it did nothing because you have to stab him in
yeah.
that tattoo of the
That
tree on him.
that would have been pretty interesting. And also like Justin could have used that to his advantage to even further like his grasp on these people's minds, like, "Oh, there's a bullet hole, but no piercing. Like, I've got the protection of God," and stuff like that.
Well, he couldn't open up his whatever his priest uniform is called
Yeah.
and show off that
Well, I mean,
creepy
you don't have
tattoo.
to go that far. Just show a bullet hole and you call it a day.
And Justin has also used his psychic abilities through the radio to procure the services of Brother Farland from I think it was a prison, and he becomes his
Yeah.
assassin, his right hand man, played by the
While
wonderful John Carroll
yeah,
Lynch.
while John Carroll Lynch shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he's a fun character. He's one of the things I find amusing about him is that he can't help but be an asshole. Like whenever he has a terrible way of getting information out
This
of
guy is
people.
so despicable.
Whenever he's trying to get information out of people, he does it by intentionally intimidating them or
Yeah,
trying to
and
piss them off or rile them
antagonizing
up.
everybody around him.
Yes,
And it's funny seeing him play that character because when I think of him, I always think Norm from
Fargo.
Fargo, and
Yeah,
most recently, like guy on the sidewalk in
sorry,
Sorry
baby.
Baby. So I'm not used to seeing him play this type of character, but he does a great job with it just because he is such a dickhead.
Yeah, the best part is when he's talking to Samson and he's trying to get a rise out of him. He keeps flashing this badge that he
this
lifted off a lawn.
this like fake, well, like not fake because he rips it off of a like actual policeman, but he's going so far into, like, playing the role, it's like a child playing dress up. It's like,
Yeah,
"Look at my badge, look at my badge."
he flips the badge on Samson, and Samson says, "If you're law, then I'm John Dillinger." And,
Yeah.
and then Varlin gets in his face and says, "This carnival is shit."
It's a giant baby.
Yeah.
Such a child. Yeah, I liked him, liked his character a lot.
And then I also liked the acknowledgement from Iris towards the end of the series after she's done so many horrible things, including murder someone who is gotten
Yeah.
wise to Brother Justin. She says, "Yeah, I know I'm going to hell, and I have the comfort of knowing that I'll have my brother with me."
Yeah, she is such a twisted character. It was always confusing to me to figure out what exactly drove her because like you said, she's entirely aware of the fact that she's done horrible things and she will not be rewarded in any kind of way for this. It's like why is she doing any of this?
Yeah, and then it seems like she's playing both sides against each other. It seems like she's trying to. She keeps talking to Norm about how just hang in there, Norm. Eventually, we'll get him. So I wonder what her ultimate end game would have been had the series
Yeah,
continued.
that's the other thing is she seems to be playing every side against each other for maybe her own gain. Does like she want to take control from Justin? Like where does she see herself in the future?
Daniel Nauf, the guy who created the show, has released extensive notes on what would have happened in season three. And as I understand it, in season three, Sophie would have been Justin's wife, which is creepy because
That's
she's his
yeah,
daughter.
yeah.
And Justin would have been severely weakened following his encounter with Ben. So Iris and Sophie would have been kind of the ones leading things during that season. And so there would have been like a power struggle between them. And back at the carnival, the thing that the show gets its name from, we finally figure out what the hell's going on with management. Management gives Ben a view of the future, the false sun over Trinity, the nuclear bomb. That's where everything is headed. Ben's task is to prevent the bomb from wiping out all of humanity.
The first thing I thought was like, is this like the Trinity test and he's supposed to prevent nukes from ever existing, or is this like a specific event in the future where a bomb is going to wipe people out? Like, what exactly is he supposed to stop?
Yeah, it would have been the advent of the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
That's where it was going. So I guess that means Oppenheimer would have been a character
Yeah.
had the show continued.
I gotta stop Oppenheimer. He's gonna make the bomb. Yeah, the stuff with management continued to be like very strange to me, especially after they're just killed off, and then Samson has to pretend like they're still around, so that becomes a point of contention for his character, trying to keep everybody's trust.
And in season one, you said that the voice of management sounded familiar, but you didn't know who it was.
I still never figured it out.
Yeah, at one point when we were watching season two, you asked me, "Is it Charlotte Rampling from Dune?"
Yeah.
And it's funny, it's not Charlotte Rampling who plays the Reverend Mother from Denis Villeneuve's Dune, but it's Linda Hunt who plays Shadout Mapes in
Oh,
David
okay.
Lynch's Dune. So
Wow.
Grandmother Willow.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I immediately knew the voice when
Wow.
I heard it. It was like Linda Hunt, cool.
Yeah, I couldn't get past Charlotte Rampling. I was just like, "This sounds like Reverend Mother
Gaius
Gaius
Mahayam.
Mahaya." Yeah,
Yeah,
from, Dunes, like, it just sounds exactly like her.
yeah, the voice of an old woman coming out of an elderly Russian who is Justin's father.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And and still Ben is on the hunt to try to find his father, Henry Scudder, because Henry Scudder and management were enemies the way Ben and brother Justin are.
Yeah, I thought Ben's story this time had far more progression and movement than in the first season, but I still found it somewhat puzzling the things they had him doing. It seemed like he was going on side quests that kind of ended in question marks constantly. Like especially the whole like hillbilly family arc.
Yeah, he did get something out of that. He got the dagger that he needed to finish off Justin in the end.
Yeah, it just seemed like a huge diversion. I mean, potentially they would have come back in future seasons to be developed further, or that his relationship with the family. But I don't know. Some of the things they had him doing, it seemed like he was just kind of running around, like I said, doing side quests, and then they would either end with nothing or a question mark, or maybe he would get, like you said, a dagger, or he would randomly be kidnapped by a mask maker.
Oh yeah, that shit was cool. That was creepy. Yeah, I forget. I think his name was Giddy's the mask maker guy.
Yeah, very creepy guy.
That ends up playing a, critical role in Brother Justin finally
Yeah.
figuring out who the guy is because the mask maker ships it to Brother Justin. Justin wears it and he can
Yeah.
see through Ben's eyes.
Yeah, so, it's really kind of the last several episodes that I thought Ben's, stuff was at its strongest, because he's, like, directly affecting the plot and moving things forward, and they're creating a plan around taking out Justin and but, like, everything leading up to that, I was still kinda scratching my head going, like, "Why are we watching this his hillbilly family and all this other stuff that he does?" And
Including McPoyle.
yeah, he runs into the McPoyles on his travels.
Yeah, he's part of the redneck hillbilly family.
Um, Probably the strongest thing, that he does in anything leading up to, like, before the final few episodes is that encounter he has with the guy who's, like, pimping out and trafficking
Yes,
this mentally, like,
his
deficient
mentally
girl.
challenged girl. Yeah.
That was extremely disturbing and, like, almost got me teary-eyed just because of, his effect he has on turning the guy around, like, using his power to actually put some good in the world, and the guy's performance when he, like, realizes how horrible everything he's done is, was, like, surprisingly moving, I thought.
Yeah, that's a major emotional high point. It's so messed up and shows you the goodness that's within Ben.
And I kind of said, like, last season, I wasn't entirely sold on, Nick Stahl, as playing the character. I'm still not because I find a lot of the things he does and, like, acting choices to be just kind of strange.
Yeah, I liked him in both seasons, but god damn it, after you pointed it out, how he's constantly out of breath, I couldn't unsee it this time.
Always, like, he'll be sitting in his chair, like, playing solitaire, and then somebody will walk in and talk to him, "Samson, what do you got me doing this week? It's, like, "Goddamn, boy, why are you out of breath? You're playing solitaire." It just every time he has dialogue, he's just out of breath.
I guess in a sense it kind of makes sense. He's probably constantly anxious. He's always on edge.
He doesn't sleep at
He's
all.
haunted by horrible dreams. He's always running.
He's got kind of the perfect face and demeanor to play somebody who's just perpetually exhausted, but I don't it doesn't always make sense for the character in my opinion. But he does have a few, like, high points, and that encounter with the guy we were talking about is one of them. I also like him in the finale, the final few episodes.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Also, in the carnival, we get the burgeoning, blossoming relationship between Jonesy and Libby, and they are so much better together than Jofi.
Yeah, they are. It still continues to be weird to me that Jonesy is in relationships with very young people. That she can't be like what, 18, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, well, it was the
Is her
30s.
30s, that's the excuse, but this guy's like, what, his mid, late 40s?
Well, talk to Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah. Um, but yes, they are a much better pair, and I do, enjoy their characters this time around far more than I did the last season.
Yeah, I didn't really like Jonesy all that much in the first season. I completely turned around on
Yeah,
him in this one.
he's one of the high points in this season, and, the stuff they do with him, especially later, very dark and very, interesting though.
Yeah, a kid almost dies on the Ferris wheel, and then the patrons who saw him drinking on the job and suspect he was the one behind it, they catch up to his ass.
Mhm.
They abduct him and Libby, and in a very brutal scene that actually got me to wince because I'm a hard man to get my stomach to churn, but this was horrific.
Yeah.
They tie his ass up. They bring out this pot of boiling hot tar, put a brush in it, and then start slapping him in the stuff.
Yeah, I've always heard, the phrase,
Tar and feather.
"tarred and feathered," but I've never really stopped to think about what that actually means. But yeah, to see it like this presented in such a brutal and in your face kinda way.
Yeah, terrific acting from him when he's having it done to him. He sounds convincingly agonized.
Yeah, and it's just like they do, like, the worst stuff, like, they put it on his a whole one half of his body, like, they put it in his mouth.
Yeah, that's when I really winced. They shoved that thing down in his on his tongue and in his mouth.
Yeah, and then like, the final makeup effects after it's all done is just, like, very disturbing.
Yeah, they leave him out in the sun to just
He's just cooking.
yeah, he's got to be roasting in there.
Yeah, I don't know how he's alive, but he is
A
somehow.
lot of willpower.
Yeah.
And then if you pull on the tar, it peels the skin.
Yeah.
And then this leads up to one of the most heartwarming moments of the show where Ben takes him out into the middle of the desert, lets the vultures collect around him for hours and hours, and poor Jonesy probably has no idea what's going on. And
Yeah.
then Ben drains the life out of the vultures and transfers it into Jonesy.
I thought he was about to crack the earth. I thought he was about to, like, kill the land because he tells her, like, "You get out of here. Something terrible is gonna happen. You drive and you keep going."
Yeah, he just wanted her as far away as possible because he was going to drain a lot of life, and he
Yeah. I
didn't
didn't
want her in the vicinity.
It seemed like there weren't enough vultures to make this happen, but, whatever. That's the show's logic. Um,
Well, he wasn't bringing someone back from the dead. He was doing a
yeah,
healing. And yeah, he heals not only Jonesy's horrific tar
these burns.
affliction, but also his knee.
Yeah,
It's
fixes that leg up.
it's like it was never ever broken. And one again, just a great performance from Tim DeKay when he realizes he has strength back.
Yeah, he, like, runs around and hooting and hollering, and yeah, really great performance from him. One of the more heartwarming moments of the show for sure.
Yeah,
One of the biggest, moments for Ben for sure. Well, the biggest moment, I think.
back in the carnival we have Felix, in my opinion, the lovable loser, who I guess you just don't like at all.
I think this guy is just the scum of the earth. But you know what? Him and what's her name?
Rita May.
Rita May. They are just made for each other because she puts up with his bullshit constantly, and then she has some of her own to put out into the world.
Yeah, I think I was calling her Rita Sue accidentally in the previous review. So sorry, I messed up. Yeah, Rita May is her name, and yeah, I love Felix. I think he gets by a lot on the performance. Like Toby Huss is so good.
Yeah, it's a great performance, but man, like, I'm
He,
just constantly looking for some kind of, like, arc or progression of this character, or for him to kind of finally, like, realize that he's just a bad person, he's got a problem, and it never really comes. They just kind of state it like, "Yeah, I got problems, I drink all the time and I gamble, but that's who I am."
he keeps pissing away his money on
Yeah,
gambling.
yeah. It's like, "Dude, you're gonna end up in the ground or you're gonna get more of your family killed."
Well, he does kind of get his towards the end because I liked the character and I kind of felt the sympathy for him despite him being just a total loser and irresponsible. When it gets to the point where he's picking a fight with Jonesy and Jonesy just lays him out because he's twice his size and a
Yeah.
baseball player, I that was to me that was hard to watch because they're friends and that's not an easy thing to watch. Two friends just going at it and one just pummeling the other into
No,
dirt.
I mean, that's true, but I also found some satisfaction in it because it's gonna take a beating for someone like Felix to be straightened out in any kind of way, it seems like. And even that doesn't really work.
I really wish the series had continued. I would love to have seen how his character would have grown had it gone on.
He's the perfect character to have like an arc like that. It is disappointing that we're not gonna see it continue. But for the 2 seasons we got, yeah, he's very enjoyable to watch. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, you're just making every wrong decision, and everything you do is wrong, and at your own detriment or your family's detriment. Can you just like stop and get some freaking help, dude?
Yeah. And so then there's Ruthie. She got snake bit in the previous season and she died and then Ben killed Loads and transferred his life into hers as I recall. So now Ruthie having been to the other side is seeing ghosts all over the place, ghosts of people she once knew, old Rousties, old Carnies, and Loads is back kind of.
Kind of,
He's
yeah.
he's able to take possession of Ruthie's body to have some fun time with Lila.
Yeah, Lila is another character I just can't stand.
Yeah, she's horrible.
Like, I didn't like her in the first season, and I liked her even less here. She's just constantly looking for problems, and like Loads is 6 feet under, so they can't tell her what actually happened because freaking Ben killed him.
Yeah.
So she's just like on this quest to find out what happened to Loads. Where is she? she can't accept that he's just disappeared, or maybe he's run out and taken the money. It's like, which doesn't seem completely out of character for him.
Yeah.
Eventually, she just kind of does give up on it, and then it just kind of pops back up in the end.
Well, she realizes that Loads could not have possibly have run off because I believe
Yeah,
she sifts through his dinner jacket and finds a bunch of money.
yeah.
It's like there's no way this blind man is just gonna go out into the middle of the night without some cash on him. And then she's got a vendetta against Samson because she knows something's up.
It's it's also kind of weird though to me that she like points the fingers at her own people because it's not completely out of the ordinary for them to be attacked by outside groups and things to happen to them. Like, I mean, you go into town and you rip a bunch of people off. Who's to say that somebody didn't come back? I mean, it's happened several times. But yeah, just a totally unlikable woman. Anytime she was on the screen, it was just aggravating. Not in a bad way, but yeah, just not a great person.
Samson continues to be my favorite character.
He's just a delightful presence, and once again, it's like his, compassion for his, crew that, goes the furthest to me. Just, the way he relates to everybody, and in this season, the way he actually gets behind Ben.
Yeah, Ben needs someone to steer him in the right direction. In season one, he had loads his ass trying to
Yeah,
steer him down a bad path, and
yeah,
then
Lowe's is a piece of garbage.
you got Samson trying to do the right thing with him. I really liked his speech in the last episode where he's like, "What the hell is it with you, Jesus, John the Baptist? You think you got to kill yourself to prove something?" And he says, "When it comes to living, dying is the easy part."
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great writing for him, but, yeah, his performance, I've only seen him in this and Twin Peaks, and it is insane to me, like, how good an actor he is.
Yeah,
Considering, you can't really do much with Twin Peaks considering he has to say all of his dialogue backwards.
and only appear exclusively in the red room
Yeah,
at sporadic intervals.
sporadic episodes. But yeah, he's like consistently like the best thing in both of these seasons.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw the trailers for this back in 2003, that character appeared briefly, this little person. I remember him saying, "Hey kid, how'd you like a career in show business?" And then many years later, I became a Twin Peaks fan and found out that that was actually this guy, Michael Anderson. I did not expect him to have such a huge role. For some reason, I thought he was going to be a side character. The dude's the third lead,
Yeah,
which is great.
yeah, like a lot of screen time, a lot of good material, great performance. But yeah, definitely my favorite character in the show.
How'd you feel about Scudder?
I thought everything involving him was very, very strange and not in the good way.
I
I
generally like the whole story, but watching it again, I don't know if I noticed it the first time, but that actor gives a strange, I might
yeah,
even say bad
he's
performance.
kinda terrible in this.
He looks like Doug Hutchison.
I was thinking that episode of Criminal Minds, Masterpiece, Jason Alexander's character with the long white hair,
Yeah.
only if he was like he took a bunch of Ambien or Xanax.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great performance, not a great character. Yeah, it was all very weird to me anytime he was on screen, and then his just dispatching eventually.
Yeah, it's probably a victim of the season getting cut short, but it is pretty funny. We spend 2 seasons chasing this guy, and then when we finally get to him, he's around for, like, what, 3 episodes, and then he's dead. Brother
Yeah.
Justin cuts his head off and gets a, MP upgrade.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. I still kind of struggle with this. Like Justin sitting in the house, he's in the cabin with what's his face, and then he breaks out, and then he gets in the car and escapes. But then suddenly Justin is a horror movie of villain because he appears in the car
In the backseat with the
in the
sickle.
the back seat and slices his head off. And I'm like, okay, how did he know that he escaped? How did he know that there was a struggle and that he was going to escape? And then how did he get in the car before he got in the car to how did he know to get in the car because this was all happening? Like,
I
it's just horribly contrived.
it's baffling, but it leads to a cool image when he cuts his head off, and he holds it prominently in front of
Yeah.
that tree.
And then Ben is drinking from the corpse water later on, or washing his face in the corpse water. I can't remember. Didn't dig his character's use in this. Didn't like the acting or the actor. Yeah, didn't like how it resolved. pretty poor, I would say, all around regarding Scudder. Which, like you said, is all the more baffling because he is kind of the entire driving force of Ben. Is like, I gotta find Scudder. Like, tell me, you know where Scudder is? Who's Henry Scudder? Yeah, just not good.
Oh, we forgot to mention how good the music
I was
is.
just about to say, something I definitely wanted to mention was the music. It was good in the first season, but I thought it like received a market upgrade in this one. Much more prominent. I liked some of the like motifs they used throughout. Much better use of the music in this season.
Yeah, it's Jeff Beal doing the music, who I knew because he wrote the theme music to Monk.
Okay. Well, that's a good segue. I was going to ask you, how what do you think about the theme song for this show?
The opening credits.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
I find it completely forgettable, and I mean, yeah, I skipped it every time it came on just to get back to the show. I didn't think there was anything like super unique or like memorable about it.
It's not my favorite thing. It's not Twin Peaks where I have to watch the
No,
intro every
yeah,
time. But I like the intro music and I like the intro.
yeah, I don't care much for it.
And speaking of Twin Peaks, I remember you disagreed with me last time when I said that I thought the show was Twin Peaks level good. I don't know if you still disagree or if you are starting to understand what I mean by that.
I understand what you mean, but I still disagree. Although we're currently rewatching Twin Peaks and we're on season two,
Yes.
and we're in the bad half of of
Yeah.
season two. It's comparable in that way. It's certainly better than some of the stuff on Twin Peaks season two.
Yeah, like Twin Peaks, it's a show that just has an identity that's all its own. There's just nothing else feels quite like it.
Well, they've built like their own little universe, and that's kind of the most fun thing is that it does feel like its own little world with its own mythos kind of like carved out.
And unlike Twin Peaks, I guess we probably can't revive this show 25 years later like David Lynch did because all arrows in this show were pointing to the atomic bomb. So the show had a very specific point in American history that it was supposed to end, and the
They'll
actors are way
they'll
too old
just
now.
pull a Terminator 3 with we didn't stop Judgment Day, we just
Yeah,
delayed it.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, is it even possible to continue this later on? And it's not. It's just simply not. Not without a full reboot.
Yeah, that is something Daniel has talked about. He said that basically that the actors are too old now. The only way to do it right is to reboot it completely from scratch, and it feels like such a shame.
It it is. I mean, the only benefit I would say is that you could tighten up the seasons
Yeah,
to make them more appealing for a streaming service. Because let's face it, it's not going to be on network television.
yeah,
Um, make it a more appealing package for one of them to actually get behind and spend the money on, especially that first season. Like, there's no reason for it to be as long as it is.
yeah. I wonder if they would amend the script to make the first season less focused on love hexagons.
Yeah, I would even say like season 2 could be sped up a little bit. You could probably get everything that you need done in like 8 to 10 episodes a season. But yeah, it's just not possible to continue this without rebooting the entire story. Or if you wanted, you could just start from season 3 with a new cast and just assume that all the stuff had already happened that we saw and just kind of right around that.
Yeah, so Daniel Knauf has he's wanted to continue it as novels or as comics. Like Marvel, evidently back in the day was like all in on yeah, let's do this Carnival continuation in comic form. And I guess at the last minute, HBO just said nope, and so HBO won't let him do it as comics or as novels. And there's no Blu-ray to this show, so it's like what the hell's wrong with you, HBO? You're just gonna let this property rot on a shelf? It's like you can
Yeah,
either make some money off it or no money, and you're choosing no money.
it's
You
kind of
suck, HBO.
it's kind of baffling. I was thinking about like what would an animated series for this like even be appealing? I don't know. I part of the charm is like the sets and the money that they spent on it.
Location shooting.
Yeah, that would just not be possible in today's climate. Everything would be in the volume and green screen to hell and back. It
Yeah.
it would look terrible.
Oh god, the volume. Yeah, 2 years of Carnival, 8 goddamn years of Game of Thrones, plus a spinoff. Thank you,
Yeah,
HBO.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we get to the finale. This ended great. I really like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mostly agree. I think it's a pretty solid conclusion while leaving the door open to continue the story. I do think it's a little too open ended for the fact that this is not going to continue.
Yeah. There's two things I wish in retrospect they could have taken out.
Let's remove the crops dying, insinuating that she's reviving Justin.
And don't have Jonesy get shot and let that be the last thing you
Yeah,
end on
and
with him.
like take that out of the show. Like
Be-
I was reading some of the stuff too, and apparently his character would have
yes,
survived.
he would have survived. He would have gone back to baseball, which is wonderful. I guess the third season there was going to be a time jump and the carnival was going to be broken up except for Samson and Ben.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Those are like the two things that I wish were not in the finale because I don't know. It seems like you should have like your season order either finalized or have the show canceled before your final episode comes out. But I guess like if people go in knowing that there won't be a continuation, like will they even tune in to watch? But I mean, you've already canceled the show, so it's pointless anyways.
So you did not think that at the end of season 1 that Ben and Justin were even going to meet. That's the thing I was
Mhm.
worried about.
Yeah, I'm glad we did get that. That
Yes.
there was a resolution.
Is like I felt if nothing else, there at least has to be an encounter between these two because I was seriously worried in season 1 and even in season 2 that this is how it's going to end. The carnival rose up to New Canaan. It's like, well, there it is. Let's
Yep,
shake some dust.
yep. And to be continued in
To be
season three.
continued.
Yeah.
Never.
One thing that I really like, which doesn't always happen, is that the gang kind of formulates a plan to attack Justin. And in most shows or movies, the plan would almost immediately fall apart in some kind of way. But here, like they actually go through with it, and the plan works,
Yeah.
and it's pretty satisfying to watch.
Yes.
Eventually, things do kind of spiral out of control, and we have the final confrontation elsewhere. But it was nice to see like everything kind of come together. It's like the criticism of the Breaking Bad finale, how people think everything's too neat and clean.
Mm.
But it's like I like having all the pieces coming together and then seeing them unfold on screen. It was just like it was enjoyable to watch them come up with a logical plan using everybody's abilities.
I love it. I was wondering, like, how Justin can take Ben out easily. Like, how are they going to face off against this dude? It's like they come up with a great plan. Get Justin to ride the Ferris wheel, lock his ass in, and have Ben perform a healing where he takes everything out of Justin and transfers it into the
Yeah.
flock.
And
And
they
it's,
also they read Justin like a book. Like they
yes,
know exactly how this guy operates and they know exactly how to or Samson knows exactly how to manipulate this guy.
yeah,
I love their entire conversation where he's like inviting them to the carnival and talking about the tickets and then like I said, he's a great salesman. You give somebody something and then you tell them they can't have it. That's only going to make somebody want it more. So
yeah,
and Justin's got like the superiority complex. So of course he's going to ride the Ferris wheel. Like, I'll ride that damn Ferris wheel. You don't take my Ferris wheel away from me.
yeah. And then watching Ben perform the healing and having him just suck all the power out of Justin, that was so comforting to watch. So fun to watch after all of the shit this dude's done.
Yeah, yeah,
What I thought was going to happen was that by the time Ben got to Norman, healed him, that was going to be the thing that takes him out. And that's not what happened. He heals Norman. And then this is something I wish they didn't do.
yeah. I forgot about this until we got here. Yeah, this was completely unsatisfying, and I
Yeah.
wish they did not do this.
Norman gets healed. After 12 episodes of torment, he is healed from his stroke. He gets out of his wheelchair and he says, "The power of Christ compels you." And he gets his throat slit. First of all, I can take that line seriously in The Exorcist,
Yeah,
but
no,
that line has been parodied so much that it's hard for me to take seriously outside of that movie.
yeah, it was a total waste of his character and his arc this entire season.
It's like, I know they probably wanted to write the character out because the actor was quite elderly.
Yeah, it just seemed to like a total disservice to everything they were setting up with him, and it would have been nice to see him get a win.
Well, he's with God. The other thing that I just loved is that Cool. Things come full circle. Those dreams that were haunting Ben of him being chased through the cornfields by a
Mhm.
mysterious figure, that resolves at the end of this
Yeah.
season. Justin chases Ben through the cornfields. They have a fight. Ben takes him out with a dagger, and there you
While
go.
dressing up or as a scarecrow.
Scarecrow, yeah. Which
Um,
is one of those Hollywood things where it's like, I question the logic of how you do that, but okay.
yeah, yeah, and once again, like, Justin's kind of like a horror movie character, like, chasing the hero through the cornfield, and so he's gotta outsmart him in some kinda way. Yeah, seeing him put the dagger through him, you gotta put it through the tree. Yeah, that was cool to see that come to fruition and actually resolve. Like I said, I was not expecting anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, I wasn't expecting him to die. And
No.
thankfully, we got at least that. It may not have been the ultimate battle between good and evil, but it was at least it was a battle.
One that was going to continue because Sophie is the Omega.
Yeah. Loads leaves a message. Sophie is the Omega. We don't know what that means until the final episode. Turns out she's got avatar powers as well.
Yeah, she's got that Justin juice, and very creepy interactions between the two of them. Considering we know before the characters know what their relation is to each other.
Yeah, she is a product of rape, and then she would have been married to his ass in the next season.
Yeah, it's frustrating that we don't get to see that story continue, and also like irritating. Just like I was saying, I thought the handling of Sophie's character in the last third was just kind of contrived. It's like, well, we know we have this direction in the story we want to take the character, but we don't really know how to get the character there. So we'll just make her find a job as his maid. There we go. And it's like that doesn't seem like in character for her. She's not gonna just settle for being some religious dude's maid. But, whatever. Whatever gets the story going, in an interesting direction. But we won't get to see it, so
Yeah. So overall, yeah, I did very much like the ending. It was more of an ending than I expected it to be, and like I
yeah.
said, this to me is a more satisfying ending than Twin Peaks season 2. Although Twin Peaks has the benefit of going on to create the greatest season of all time with season 3.
Yeah, at the same time, though, like, inconclusivity is kind of Twin Peaks' bag. Like, Twin Peaks is perfectly fine to not give you all the answers, and, maybe I'll feel differently once we reach that endpoint, in season 2, but I kind of like the kind of dark, ambiguous ending that it provides. It works for that show. It wouldn't work for this, even though that's kind of what we ended up getting, but it's enough of a conclusion to be satisfying.
Yeah, and so from what I gather, had the series continued, it would have ended with Ben trying to stop the atomic bomb because he thinks it's going to be the end of all humanity, but he comes to realize that no, it's just going to be the end of his kind, magical people,
Mm.
avatars and stuff. Because at the beginning of the series, you had the narration from Samson where he's saying the age of wonder is replaced by the age of reason or something like that. So I guess Ben would have realized that no, the bomb's just going to be the end of us, the avatars, the magical beings, and then he would have, I think, would have actively tried to let the bomb go off, and Justin would have been trying to stop it. And so the final episode would have been the bomb taking Justin, Sophie, and Ben all out.
Mm.
There's extensive notes you can read on the internet.
Yeah.
Are you
For
happy you watched it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I still think the first season is like riddled with flaws, but it does a good job of setting up all the characters, and it's enjoyable to just watch the characters do things, and
Yeah,
that's pretty important, I think, for a show like this that has so many characters. Oh, that's another thing. Is this show cuts out a lot of the fat from the previous season. Like
yeah,
Lizard Man's gone.
yeah.
A bunch of these like side characters we don't need are gone.
The conjoined twins are gone, which if I had to choose between Lizard Man and conjoined twins, I'll take the twins because at least they had killer harmonies.
Yeah, it's just cut the fat, trim the stuff we don't need. Let's get through the story. Like, let me see some stuff. I was very, very glad to see that.
If this
And they don't even bother explaining where they went.
so he's hibernating. He's a lizard.
Yeah.
If the season had not ended as well as it had, I might not have even asked you to watch it with me.
I was concerned. pretty much the whole time that this was just going to be kind of a big waste of time because your idea of a satisfying enough ending and mine could have been very different things. Um, Luckily, that wasn't the case.
So, what is your final number rating on a scale of 1 to 10? I guess for this season and for the series in general.
Yeah, this season was a big improvement. A lot of really great character moments. Jonesy jumped up like near the top of the list as being one of my favorites. I liked Ben's story a lot more. I still don't love Nick Stahl's performance. Samson is an all timer. He's just so fun to watch. Very enjoyable to hear him deliver lines. Yeah, a really fun cast, interesting story, much better than the first season. I'd probably give this season like a strong 9, and just the show overall like a kind of an average, like an 8 in between.
Yeah, I agree. This one is a strong 9 out of 10. Major improvement. I love these characters. It's just fun to just hang out with them. Justin's a great villain. This is probably the best thing Clancy Brown's ever done. Samson, like you said, is a wonderful all timer. Great character. Love that guy's performance. It's probably one of my favorite shows of all time now, honestly. I love period pieces and I love surrealism. And so this show just kind of has a special place in my heart for that. So overall rating for the series, I think I would also say is a very strong 9.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah. So that's Carnival. Watch it. Well, if like we said in the first part, if you're listening to this, then you got it all spoiled for you. But if you haven't, then watch it.